Hello beautiful people, I hope you're having an amazing day. You are a star, don't let any mofo dim your light. Today I'm going to share with you my experience that I had with a medium. That's right, last week I visited a good friend by the name of Daniel Hawken, who's a celebrity medium, and what he does, he channels people from beyond this three-dimensional plane for those who've lost loved ones, and pretty much just channels messages. He can also do like psychic readings and kind of give you a gauge of what your timeline looks like in the future. Now, what's the difference between a psychic and a medium? A medium, like I just said, they channel like spiritual beings and they speak through them, and they'll just pass on messages, whereas psychics just kind of have can tell you a little bit more about like your future and what you may experience, but ultimately at the end of the day, guys, your timeline is ever shifting constantly, right? So whatever you focus on, obviously whatever you have placed your intention in your vision is what you're constantly going to manifest. So now I had some I was very surprised by this experience. I didn't know what to expect. I had some questions about things like soulmates, why my dad and my two uncles passed away early, and really I wanted some closure, even though I kind of knew why those things happen. But it's always fun exploring the unknown and the mysteries of the universe. And so I went in there with the intention just with zero expectations, and to hear Daniel out and see what his work was like, and share with you whether or not it's worth seeing a medium, seeing a psychic, and sometimes they may not always get it right. Sometimes there's going to be like a glitch in the channeling. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people have a more open third eye. Some people's antennas or their brain are just more receptive to these kind of messages. Okay, this is what I've seen with like my friends and some of the mediums that they've kind of experienced with, and then you've got like the really like shitty fake psychics and mediums and fortune tellers who just kind of like who do it for the money. So you really want to look for people who've had obviously good experience, who've got a good portfolio, who do it for the people, who do it for their loved ones, who do it with their heart, and you'll have quite an eye-opening experience, be like myself. So the session went on for about an hour, and obviously I'm not going to share with you an hour worth of time, but what I've done is I've broken it down to about 12 minutes. Now you can join with me and we'll watch it together, and I've recorded it, but I'll show you what he shared with me, and then you can decide whether or not things like this are fact or fiction. And then after this clip, I'm going to tell you where I feel like whether this is like kind of true, or whether it's just intuition, or kind of just gauging someone's energy and just planting seeds, you know what I mean? So like I've had a friend who saw a medium a couple of years ago, and they predicted that they would open a store, and funny enough, like a hut or like a market store, and funny enough they did that 1 year later. Now whether it be planting the seed or not, and you kind of just following that and it grows and manifests into your own life, that's entirely up to you. But again, some of the things that Daniel shared, I was very surprised, and yeah, it was very eye-opening, and it was great to have this kind of. I love exploring things like these, things that not many of us, or science hasn't quite caught up with, in terms of spirituality and things like that. So let's get into it. Celebrity medium Daniel Hawken. Basically, we began with a tarot reading. just a little tarot reading, shuffled the cards, pulled 3 out, and he kind of gauged a little bit. It's not his forte, that part, but he did an awesome job with reading, channeling through my dad. And what he did was he spoke through his grandma. His grandma's passed, and she has strong like psychic abilities, and she kind of just channeled the message through him and her, and yeah, he just kind of just scribbled down whatever messages he was receiving. There's a lot here, but I'm just going to give you like the highlights, some of the points that were a little bit surprising, and yeah. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
So I'm going to call her through. What's your date of birth, Daniel?
23rd of the 2nd.
23rd of... Yeah. Patricia, do you want to come through? We're reading for Daniel here. You've met him before at my dinner and we've seen him at the gym and all that other stuff because you're always around me. Yeah, soul similar to you.
Similar souls?
Not like me, I'm crazy. With the Ace of Wands, that shows more that you've been given something to look after
Ace
you this
of
whole
Wands
lifetime.
was a card.
Okay. You won't have to have a boss. Same as me. And you
Don't need a boss?
Ever. I know that. I don't even need to ask you. I feel the same when she says the same to me. It's the same. Like, I'm never going to have a boss. I wouldn't cope. No. You're the same. You're always going to be able to make your own way, money,
like that.
The whole lot. But that's a gift coming out of the blue. So somewhere over the last 10 or 15 years, something has just happened and you know that you're going to be all right. That's been
some sort of security.
Right, okay. Makes sense somewhere there? Yeah. I can't tell you when it is because we're just looking at cards.
Yeah.
And that from that moment, that might have been when you opened spirituality. I don't know. It could be something else.
So my awakening in 2017.
Like, even though I'm a medium, I still can sort of look and see what I can pick up about what may happen or stuff there. If there's any questions about your life that you want to look at, work, future, all that. What's right for you and your soul.
Yeah.
You're like that. You're easy to read as a person anyway. I know who you are. I know who your soul is, and that's just simple and straightforward. You want the best for everyone else, and that's
true. I want the best for everyone.
There's nothing really complicated in that. You've got to the point where you don't care that you realise that you are the brick on this planet. That your brick fits perfectly into that thing. There's no having to change anything about who you are. Yeah. That's what your soul. That's what I can see. Yeah. And I'm assuming most other people see that as well.
Yeah. So hard to mold. Essentially, so what he said so far is just, I'm pretty solid with who I am. I know who I am, and it's so hard for me to change around other people because despite being moldable, okay, or mutable as a Pisces, and adaptable to other people's characters, I'm just so hard to mold. I can't change with other people. It's so hard to be fake around other people, and what he's saying is just I'm a solid brick in this 3D world.
Have you got a carnelian crystal at home?
I don't know.
Let me ask him 1 second. Sure, you've got a carnelian crystal. From what I know, carnelian crystals help the stomach. They will Virgo. You've got Virgo rising.
That's true. Virgo rising.
I'd like to know what the degrees is of that. No, he doesn't wear much blue, but he was born into the blue light ray that he's showing me.
Blue light ray.
Okay. Daniel, do you like blue?
Yeah.
This is a light blue?
Blue is my favourite damn colour. More so like turquoise, the sea colour, blue. Like, if I can find one, I'll show you now. But yeah, I love blue. Blue makes me so happy. My rooms, my beds, all shades of blue. And blue is also your throat is linked to your throat chakra.
Pause. Georgie talking a lot. She likes you. I was born in the Emerald Ray. To enter the Emerald Ray, there's several of us old souls on the planet that weren't just going to come here and be commoners. So wherever I go, I somehow spread that ray of the Emerald, which is all about, I guess, the heart centre, whatever. But you were born encapsulated in this blue, in this light blue. She's showing me. Yeah, and I've never seen you wear it, but that's why I had to ask you like it. Yeah. So that can help you rebalance. Not that you need him, but if you ever feel you will own a company one day. Okay. No idea.
Says that I'll own a company one day. Yeah, I've had many companies or many businesses, so I've always had that kind of background, which makes sense. But yeah, could be planned. It could be a timeline that he's seeing. Let's see where this goes.
Doing what? Do you want to be a public speaker?
Yeah, kind of.
Alright.
So he just said that he just asked the question, do you want to be a public speaker? What's so fascinating is the last year I've been trying to challenge myself into public speaking. I did a few shows where I had to speak in front of hundreds of people, and I also set a date to do a public speaking on my book, the the Vegan Nutrition Guide, which you can download at lifestyledynamics.com. And that's something that I've always had a fear of, is just talking in front of large numbers of people. The first ever speech that I had was so daunting. It was for high school, and it was for, for the captains, the prefects, the leaders of the school. And when I went up onto the stage or in front of the crowd, my speech was as long as, "Hey, my name is Daniel Allen, you should vote for me." And that was it. So unprepared, so didn't know how to sell myself, and I was frightened. And the last year I've just been wanting to face that fear and speak in front of hundreds of people, not just to empower them and to show that, you can do whatever you're afraid of and still love it, but you're more so just to overcome their own challenges. So let's see where this keeps going.
Public speaking. So he will have a company that he's public speaking. Self-employed business company, you say. Public. Must wear some glue when he's doing the talks.
Okay.
Yeah. Planes. Might have to get a manager.
Planes. Says that I might be flying a lot. I mean, it might need a manager. Do you want to be the manager?
His shows are not going to be scripted. I just said shows. I do shows too. Wow.
This show's
it's
not
like that.
scripted either.
Can you show me more? This is really interesting. He'll be pushed there by spirit to do this. 3 spirits will push him, not these relatives. Guide ones. Yes, ascended masters, whatever.
Ascendant Masters, whatever. If you watched my past life progression video, you'll know that I visited my Ascendant Masters. Now, I've had a number of times which I can explain in a further video, about synchronicities and how to talk to guides, your spirit guides, and just get messages from the universe. They're always guiding me whenever I ask questions. So yeah, he reckons that Daniel Hawkins believes that I will be guided with the Ascended Masters.
The people will have an idea when they get to his talks about what they're going to hear, but Daniel will stand on stage and it will just come out.
Authentically.
It's just going to come out like what
Just authentic.
you might have 3 categories that you want to talk about, healthy food, this, that, and the other, but it's just all going to flow.
Yeah.
People are going to
Why
sit
is
there
that?
like,
Okay.
listening to. Okay.
So this is where I began to think like, okay, like it is pretty aligned with where I was heading before coronavirus, and basically wanting to really get myself out of the comfort zone, and that's just talking in front of a lot of people and sharing my experiences that can empower them to evolve, to go to the next level. So obviously now it's a bit of a mystery of when things will go back to normal, in terms of being in big crowds or big groups and big numbers, but just have to wait and see.
Your dad was disgruntled and he wanted to leave the planet.
Yeah.
So wanted to go.
So this part is where Daniel channels my dad, and my dad passed away when I was a few years old, and he left early, and I hadn't told him about anything. I hadn't told him about how my dad died or when he died, and this is where he gets pretty spot on with the questions. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Bit of closure.
Things were not working for him in that last 8 months.
Right.
Yeah. How old were you?
Maybe 4.
Yeah. So here you would have been like 1.5 or 2 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. So it was a few years after this. He's tried to show Daniel a frog or frogs. Okay. Do you ever have any frogs at your house?
No.
Do they ever pop up or
Oh,
any signs of frogs?
I had a frog in my dream the other night.
Did you? Did you
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think of your dad at all on that day around then?
No.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second, but yeah, it was Terence. Frog. I've got it written down.
So I had a dream of a frog. It was very, I can remember it very clearly. It was sitting like on a pipe or a gutter against the wall, and it was just sitting there. And for some reason, I was so drawn to it. And what he's saying is that it was Dad. It was Dad in the version of a frog protecting me.
Of course I know. Yeah. What was the dream about? Was the frog just there, or was there something happening, or
It was just on the wall. It was just on a...
just sitting there?
Yeah.
Your dad sitting there on the wall protecting you, watching.
Okay.
Just there. Just there. In colour? Not black and white?
Yeah. There was... Don't remember. It would have been dark shade.
I feel some confusion around your dad's passing.
Right.
Was he somehow responsible for his own passing?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second. Patricia.
That's weird. Like, I hadn't told him how my dad died, and Dad was responsible. He had some health problems, and he had bowel cancer essentially, and whether or not he entirely knew how to fix that, Dad gave up pretty much.
Show me more, please. I want to see if I can bring Terence into the room so we can feel his energy. You're okay with that? Yeah. The reason why I'm confused is it goes back to the Friday. Did your dad take his life?
Yeah.
Was he not found for a couple of days? Is that why I'm confused?
Dad took his own life, and he just couldn't handle. He pretty much couldn't go to the toilet normally, and he was just suffering too much, and so he had to pull the plug. So yeah, that was pretty interesting how he got that.
Like around the timing, did he go somewhere and do this and we didn't know straight away, like your mum didn't find him right there? Or?
Maybe.
Don't remember that.
He says you can go as big as you like, son. So, I'm assuming he's talking about work and, your... Daniel, I think you might even do workshops.
Workshops. Alright, stay tuned for workshops.
I'm seeing all this potential for you that... You're like me, you're going to be a self-made person. You can make your own... You're always going to make your own...
Moolah.
Manifest your own food and money and housing and all that. You'll never have a boss. It's not going to work. It wouldn't work.
So saying Dad was just saying you can go as big as you want, and I want to tell you as well that you can go as big as you want as well. You weren't here to play small. The only limitation that you have is your imagination. So whatever you want to manifest into this world, whatever vision that you have right now, go ahead and do it. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to play big, to be player one, to be so unstoppable in this game.
Same as me, Patricia. If I want to cancel out a day and just have Wednesday off or Thursday morning or ring Daniel, have a coffee with him at 3 o'clock on a someday I can do that. Don't have to be set into anything, which is not how the world's meant to be anyway.
That's right. He's made a good point there. The calendar, such a matrix. It's pretty much designed to lock us down. You can go deeper into why we have certain days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, based on the planets and certain energies as well. But I won't get into that right now. How we got this was pretty interesting. I'll let you decide. He has no idea how my uncle passed, and yeah, got it spot on.
Light in your family. Yeah. Like, he wasn't boring. He could walk into the room and it would be, let's here. He was very, is it pragmatic, the word? What am I, larger than life, very, what's that word when it's gregarious? Like, he'd walk into the room and you'd know he was there.
He was very uplifting. He was always laughing. He was always never serious. Never serious.
Word of energy, a big aura. Absolutely. September, something about September with him. Wish I had a photo, but I don't. Sorry, Daniel. Yeah. Maybe September 22nd. I'll put a question mark. Yep. He's floating around, is he? She says he's just floating around everywhere, spreading joy.
Okay.
He didn't want out. He had to go early for some reason. Unlike your dad, he would have been happier to stay, but he was taken out. So I don't know if there was an accident or a sudden illness or something that he wanted to stay, but he was taken out, soul gone up. Yeah. Accident. Yeah. Has he got 2 daughters?
Yeah.
2 daughters, spot on. 2 cousins, girls.
He's around the 2 daughters. I don't know if he's got any sons, but he's showing me the 2. Bang. Yeah, what was the accident?
Motorcycle.
That was mind blowing. He basically had a motorcycle accident. Just died or just
Bump, bang, something. Sorry to be graphic, but it was quite. If he had to go to hospital, I'd be surprised. I think he died at the scene. I think it was. I just hear a sudden gone out of the body, slammed out. May have broke his neck or something. It was that just taken out. Yeah, he slammed into something. I don't think that something slammed into him. Do you know any details?
No.
Can she sing? Can your sister sing? Yeah.
So now he starts asking about my sister, and one of my sister's talents is singing, and somehow he just got that. Out of all talents,
Yes, Patricia's asking if she can sing, so because she's asking that, perhaps she could do something with it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I always try to encourage my sister to sing. She's got a powerful voice, beautiful voice. If you're watching this, Shazzy, get yourself a piano. Use that gift of yours because it could change the world. Honestly, it's amazing. It's inspiring. I wish I had a voice like that, but my voice is beautiful too.
Career, buy a piano. She should have a piano and start. She's got quite a. I can hear her now. It's quite a loud, powerful voice. Here I am. Ballads and
So
stuff.
good.
You can hear her down the street. She's got quite a powerful projecting voice. Yeah. Yes, Patricia, she can sing. Yeah. You can obviously pass all this on to your sister or whatever. Do you want children?
Get a piano.
You do? Yeah. It could be up to 3. Yeah.
Kids apparently.
It'd be later. It'd be like when you're 35, 36 or something, because you're at 32, you're starting your whatever. Mm-hmm. But so if you've met your soulmate by then, she's happy to stay at home, have children. She can look up because you're going to be travelling. However.
So 32, he reckons I'll be set with my my soulmate, which we did go through. I did have questions about twin flames and soulmates. Everyone's got a very different perspective. But what I found the common theme with soulmates, twin flames, karmic twin, and all these kind of ideas about this romantic relationship that we have with our partners. The one common theme that I found, to put it simply, is that we always, at every stage of our life, we will always attract the pole opposite of the energy that we are. So if I'm in a very masculine energy, I will always have a complementary energy next to me, which will be a feminine energy, right? And usually when I'm in my masculine state, I'm focused on my goals, I'm taking action, I'm focusing on my purpose, my passion, life, always moving forward. And then when I'm in that state, okay, I'll attract a counterpart, which will be a divine feminine, which is more of in the flow, in the now, chill, creative, fun, playful, more in the emotions, more in the feels, and yeah, that's usually what I find. And personally, I believe we all come from the same consciousness, we all come from the same source. We are the universe experiencing itself in this three-dimensional plane, but to some extent there are soul groups, soul tribes. You can come back in this, can come back on this plane with certain soulmates, and a twin flame as well, or your mirror soul. I know I've experienced that myself. I've had counterparts where I look at them and I think that is literally me in a female body, and it's just like, whoa. And so in order to be together, you literally just got to focus on if you want to be with your soulmate, just focus on your own soul, mate. So that's how you can attract your soulmate if you ever want to, or your twin flame, or if you want to find a lover, just keep focusing on yourself, and I guarantee you will attract the ones you love. So back on this.
Adelaide, Gold Coast, doing your talks. New Zealand. New Zealand, yeah, you're born New Zealand. He's going to be a brand, is he? Okay.
I've always been a kind of brand, from photography to PT to sports. To some extent, I've always kind of, I guess, promoted myself, or more so my beliefs. Less about myself, but more so about my philosophies, my ethics, and what I stand for. So aligned with my timeline right now, so that's pretty cool.
Might just be Daniel Allen, don't know. Yeah. Is Allen your dad's name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you need to hang on to that too. Okay. To be known as Daniel Allen, I don't know if you want to become well known, but I think that you're going to be doing. Where she was showing me. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tired. Where you're going to be doing public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the public eye anyway, so you will become well known to a degree in that there.
Alright, so that was it, guys. A little bit more information. So basically, he's predicted that my soulmate, twin flame or counterpart, is going to be a Jesse. Who knows? I'll be going to Bolivia, South America. I've always wanted to visit South America. Public speaking. He's written some names that I haven't connected the link with. Numbers as well, which I'm yet to discover. Yeah, what else? And yeah, so essentially, he's given me some closure with this experience and some awesome insight of how mediums can channel messages and predict certain things. Now, I personally don't like to rely my future based on these certain experiences. I know that they can always change at any given time. Your life is essentially what you have manifested throughout your own energy, your own thought patterns, your own behaviors, your own habits, because we are creatures of habits. And yeah, so at any point you can change your timeline. We are multidimensional. We are always constantly exploring new avenues, and at any given point in time you're always you can always change your path and open a new door. Yeah, so that was it. So fact or fiction? Hard fact. There were some things that he had no idea, like how my dad and uncle passed. I would suggest it to anyone who's very curious about this kind of stuff. If they're very uncertain about where their life is heading, if you want a bit more certainty in your own life, if you want to speak to loved ones, I think that's absolutely amazing. If you want some closure as well. Yeah, that was it. So let me know what you think. Have you had any experiences yourself in the astral realm? Okay, have you had any friends or family speak to mediums, psychics? Have you had your future predicted? Have you had any synchronicities with this sort of stuff? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear your story. And yeah, so thanks so much for watching. Remember to love yourself, love your friends, love your family, and love the planet. Stay well, people. Stay alkalized and stay woke. Peace.